Before we get into today's video, please make sure you go ahead and leave a like on this video to show your support. Please as well, make sure you go and comment and let me know your opinion at the end of the video. And also, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already to be up to date with all our videos as well. And please click ahead the notification button so you're notified whenever we upload. And lastly, please go ahead and follow us on Instagram. Hello and welcome back to another video on the Rugby channel, and today we're going to be looking at 3 ways to promote rugby worldwide. So basically this is a little strategy video that I've come up with, a few little cool ideas that World Rugby could introduce maybe to help grow the game in the smaller nations, especially the tier 2 nations. I mean, rugby does exist in those tier 2 nations, but to make it grow even more with popularity and everything, I feel like coming up with these little solutions might help. I mean, realistically, some of them might not happen, but hey, it's just something to look at. It's just a little bit of fun. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at our first idea. Okay, so first up, this is the first one I've introduced, which is World Cup teams must play one away summer game against a top 30 side but hasn't qualified for a World Cup. So for example, the nations here, you can see Germany, Romania, Spain, Portugal, Brazil, Hong Kong, the Netherlands, Belgium, Chile, and Korea. Obviously none of them have qualified, so I mean, like, technically this would introduce rugby to the world quite well as well. I mean, you could have, say, Australia versus Germany in Berlin or something like that, because a lot of people know about the big nations when it comes to rugby and they want to see their team play them. I mean, if Germany end up playing a smaller nation, let's say, I don't know, Belgium or something like that, it doesn't draw as much of a crowd. So maybe by having these sort of games, it will draw a better crowd for the teams. I mean, yes, they'll probably get absolutely hammered, but hey, it's the whole taking part that counts, and it's just seeing your nation play a top one side. I mean, this is what you could be able to see. I mean, Spain playing England in Camp Nou. How awesome would that be? That massive stadium. Yeah, you're not going to fill it. It's quite obvious that's not going to happen. But you'd have a good crowd turn up, and it'd be history being made right there. I mean, it'd be a lovely sunny summer day. It could be before World Cup, or it could be part of a summer tour, or preparations for a summer tour, or something like that. But I feel like introducing this would help the lower tier nations anyway, and it's just a bit of a money-making thing for the lower side as well. So, I mean, I think that's a good idea. The next up, then we have the Club World Cup, like we discussed a few weeks ago. Obviously, it wouldn't be with the bigger teams. You'd have the bigger teams in it, so you could have like Exeter, Montpellier and stuff like that, but I feel you'd have to have smaller teams as well, say like from Argentina's Division 1 or something like that to get into that. Again, World Rugby would have to fund this. Obviously you'd have to fund the flights and stuff like that, so realistically it probably wouldn't happen, but overall it might help club rugby grow in that country. I mean, imagine like you could have a China League 1 team playing a South African, I don't know, Curry Cup winners or something like that. It would work. Well, it depends where it's played, because if you have a tier 2 club nation such as China's Division 1 or something like that, and they're playing abroad in, say, Dubai, you're very unlikely you're going to get supporters for that team going to Dubai. So it would work, but it would have to be played in the right atmosphere. I mean, it would probably have to be played in China to help promote that game. But yeah, as I said, it would have to be played in the lower tiers nations country. Otherwise, it's not really going to work, because the lower tiers aren't going to fly out to big countries to go see their team get demolished. So I think that's the only way that would realistically work with the Club World Cup. So next up, which is the final idea, it is what we spoke about a few weeks ago, which is expanding the Rugby World Cup. Now, just like I said in the video a few weeks ago, whether it would be expanded to this amount is a different idea again. But as you can see, we've expanded it quite a bit with top 30 teams mainly qualifying for the World Cup. So as you can see here, the format would be like you'd have to have a main nation in every single group. So like, say you have Ireland, and well, Ireland's the main group in Pool A. Pool B, you have New Zealand and South Africa as the main teams. Pool C, then, as you can see, you have France, England, Argentina, which are big nations in that group. Pool D, you have Australia and Wales and Fiji. Pool E, you have Tonga and Italy being the main nations. And Pool F, then you'd have Scotland and Georgia being the main nations. As I said, it could easily work. I think this would be realistically the best way of doing it. Although idea number 1 was quite a good one as well, because to be honest, it would be quite a cool trip if you went to watch, I don't know, Scotland versus Chile in Chile. I mean, it would be quite cool. But otherwise, this would be the best idea. Expand it, maybe not to this amount, maybe just add an extra group or something like that. But then you'd be getting the lower tier nations into a World Cup, and you'd have the hype for that nation. I mean, imagine if you're a Kenyan and your team has reached a World Cup for the first time ever. How amazing would that be? Just to witness that on live television and everything, it would just be amazing for that nation. And I think realistically this is one of the better ideas for expanding rugby in the world, and it just makes it so much easier for teams to qualify. And yeah, I mean, realistically as well, it's not even that amount, it's not a massive amount of teams, is it? But looking at this group now, if we were to have it like this, it's not a major amount of teams, is it? I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got 6 groups. That's not a hell of a lot, is it, compared to other tournaments, sporting tournaments throughout the world. So again, this could easily happen, and yeah, it's just an idea, and it was quite a fun video to make. Okay, so without further ado, that's going to be the end of the video there. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed today's video. It was quite fun to make, it's quite interesting to talk about as well. Also comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know, is there any ideas that you think that would help rugby grow as a sport throughout the world? Or do you agree with these ideas, or do you disagree with these ideas? Let me know in the comments. As well, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe and click that notification button. We're gaining so many subscribers lately, and it's great hearing from all of you and helping this little rugby channel grow as well. And if this is your first rugby channel video you've ever watched, well, we've got some amazing videos on the way as well. We also do a series every single Friday. We look at kits all around the Rugby Nation world. We looked at every single team all the way to the build up to the Rugby World Cup, so make sure you go ahead and check that out as well. And we also upload at least 2 rugby videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe if you're a rugby supporter or a sports fan. And yeah, I've been Andrew, and I will see you in another rugby video. Peace out.